Hello, I'm going to teach you how to make this motion graphic in After Effects. We're going to highlight what dogs should not eat, both by using text, glow effects, shape layers, and animating a pre-imported asset from Illustrator. So you have your composition here. We're going to load the assets you use here. Let's get started. I'm going to go to a new project and click New Composition. You want it to be composition, we can name it Food Dogs Avoid. We're going to have a preset HD 1920 by 1080, which is your HD standard. And if your resolution is not set to full, this is not a huge project, you can go ahead and set that to full. This will be about an 11-second project, but I like having room to fade out, so we're going to go ahead and make the duration 12 seconds. Right now, let me show you how to change the background so that it exports. You're going to go to Layers, New, and then go to Solid, or you can right-click, go to New, and then go to Solid. What this will do is make a solid color the same size as your composition. You can click on the color, which is what we do anytime you see a box in After Effects. You can just click on that box, you'll get a color menu, and go ahead and drag it to white, or if you prefer your hexadecimals, you can type in a lot of Fs. Then we hit OK. Now you have a white background, and if you don't accidentally want to move it, over here you can hit your lock button. Actually, I'll close that because you might not have that window. We'll open that at the end. We're going to put text on here, but first I want you to click right here. This is where you can set guides, and I want you to click Title and Action Save. This creates boxes so that you know where your main action will be and where it'll be easy for your viewer to read the title. This was a bigger deal when we had curved TVs, but with curved cell phones, it still matters. So let's click our text tool. It's right up here. It's horizontal type tool. And I'm going to click and say, Food Dogs Should Avoid. You should be able to click over here and see your text settings. I did alternate Gothic number 3D, but I want to select the words, size to 160. I can drag this using the select tool, but I find that doesn't get it quite aligned the way I want. So if we scroll up, there's an align menu. If you don't see it, like every Adobe program, you can go to Windows and find the one that says align. At this point, you can also select your ellipse tool. I'm guessing it might look more like rectangle tool. So you can select, drag to ellipse. If you locked your layer, you won't have this problem, but if you ever drag a circle or any shape over a layer, it'll default to making a mask, which we don't want in this area. Instead, you can either lock your layers and it'll default to making a shape layer, or you can go to Layer, New, and go to your shape layers. Then you can click and drag a bullet point out. If you hold Shift, that'll make it a perfect circle. Use your selection tool to get it to where you want it to be. Now, at this point, you might have a lot of things selected. You might have a lot of these windows or carets open. I'm going to close most of them and just leave my shape tool open. I don't need to adjust the contents, but I might want to adjust the transform. So I want this to be at about 530. I can just manually type that. And then from here, I want to animate this. I can do that by clicking the stopwatch. And then if I click the stopwatch again, it erases all my keyframes. And my students always do that. They get really sad because they lose all their work. So once you click the stopwatch, leave it on. Instead, what you want to do is if we wanted this to maybe be here for 2 seconds, I can drag the timeline to 2 seconds and I can hit this add or remove keyframe. That'll keep it in the same position. Then maybe I want it to go down to another row, so I'll go to 3 seconds. And let's just add about 100 to this. So we'll say instead of 530, let's change it to 630. Great. I'll go to my about 5 seconds here. Click the keyframe again, just so it's staying in position. Go to my 6. Add another 100, so we're going to 730. Go to 8 seconds, hold it. And then at 9 seconds, we'll go ahead and end at about 8:30. Now we could keep doing this, but for right now, let's just focus on about 4 foods dogs should avoid. Once we've done that, we can go back up. This is a little bit of a negative motion graphic, right? A little bit of a depressing subject matter. So let's make it a little happier. Let's go to my import, and I'm going to import. This is going to be, we'll put a little dog in it. We don't want it to be footage because then we won't have layers to animate. This is an Adobe Illustrator document that does have layers, so we'll go to Composition, Retain Layer Size, and Import. Now I should have this little dog, and we have some layers here. I'll grab the one that says head first. This will be the whole body. Now you'll notice it doesn't have a nose or mouth. You're going to have to add those. We're going to put the tongue on. We can move that afterwards, and then we're going to drag the mouth about where you think the mouth should be. What we can do now is on this tongue layer, we can do the same type of animation we just did. We can go to our frame 0, go to our position, and just lower it a little so that it goes down. So we can go ahead and raise that up. So to go down, how to go up. I'll go ahead and add another, just having it go down at about a second. We could sit here and copy and paste these keyframes, but there's a much better way to do it. If you right-click on your position, you can go to Edit Expression. And this will let you put in a loop. So if I type loop, and I want to do a loop out, just click that option there. Now, when I play it, you'll notice it's panting. So let's go ahead and finish up this animation. We're going to do a text, and we'll put the first food a dog should probably avoid, chocolate. That looks a little too big for me. I don't want the title to weigh the same amount as the list. So I'm going to go down, and instead of 160, 90 works pretty well. And any of you just saw a spoiler over there. So let's go ahead and line that up. Let's say maybe I wanted this to come up and catch their eye. I can go ahead and maybe add a glow. If I drag a glow onto this, it'll go on, but it's kind of a boring glow. To fix that, we can change this from color channels to alpha. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and pick our A and B colors. So my A color can be red. Looks a little better. Instead of my composition original being behind, I'm going to put on top. But I don't want it to glow the whole time. So I can go to my glow radius, and with my time slider at frame 0, I could go down here and find my effects and animate it all here, or I can use the time slider up here. So if I want this to last maybe a second and then fade over 10 frames, get it about there, do the same thing. I click my Add or Remove keyframe. I go about 10 frames over, just lower it to 0, and now my word glowed, and then it went away. Let's get a couple more words on there, things that dogs cannot have. I can go back to my text tool, and at 3 seconds, move my time slider to about 3 seconds, which is grapes. I can look at my anchor point. I can also use my arrows and nudge that over. If you're someone that likes exact numbers, I can go to chocolate. I could get that first position, my X, I can copy it. I could go to my grapes, go to my position, and paste, and then they should be in the exact same area. Now I want this to start at that 3 seconds. So I'm going to click the layer and drag it to where it says grapes. Go here to 6 seconds, onions / garlic, and I can go ahead, select that transform again, go to my position, and just paste that same number I had. I want to find that onions and garlic, drag it over so that it starts at about 6, at about 9 seconds. On my list, get that position in again. Chocolate has that glow effect, but I didn't put it on anything else. I don't need to drag it over and redo it though. I can just go to where it says glow, copy that, and then go to my other text. So click coffee, paste. Click onion, Control V, paste. So now you're done your animation. Let's go ahead and do a save or save as. And then after this, there's a couple ways you can export. You can either export and add it to Adobe Media Encoder if you're used to that from other programs, or you can add to your render queue if you want to keep it all in After Effects. It's going to default to an H.264, but we do have to click the arrows to save it to a specific area. It's defaulting to the folder I saved it in. That's good for me. And then I want to hit render. We'll get the status bar, and now your animation is finished. Good job.